Okay, so you're here because you want to do your foundation license for radio, correct? Well, first of all, you have to excuse what I'm wearing. It's very cold in my shed shack. My diesel heater's been playing up something rotten, and it's very cold in here, so I have to do what I can do to get by. But yeah, you want to do your foundation radio license. For me, it was very, very nerve-wracking. I didn't sleep properly for about 10 days. And honestly, now looking back here, I don't know why. It's just, but let me walk you through the step-by-step guide that I went through to do my foundation, which is actually only recently. I only passed 4 days ago, so it's fresh in my mind. I can give you, a step-by-step guide. Because it's fresh in my mind, I could be fairly accurate about it. For me anyway, this is how it went down for me. And so I sat there one night, I was flicking through my CB here and nothing. Just flicking through FM, AM, sideband, nothing. Just nothing at all. I've got my antenna up very, very high and I still brought in nothing. So literally just sparing a moment thing, I was like, right, let's go on the internet here. I've got my computer right there and let's book my foundation. And well, first of all, what you're going to want to do is get a foundation revision book. You can get it from Essex Ham's website. I believe you can get it from RSGB, which is Radio Society of Great Britain, which is who runs the exam for the licensing. You can also buy it off eBay as well. You can buy the new syllabus, which is 1.6B, if I'm correct, 2025 onwards. That's the new syllabus. You can buy it off there. I think it's about £8, £7.99, £8. Very cheap for what what you learn from it. It's very cheap because by the time you're done with it, you can also pass it on to someone else to learn as well. The book itself, the foundation revision book, is about 100 pages, thereabouts, 102 pages, and it's just basically a reading book. It tells you everything you need to know for the exam. It's not any questions in it or anything like that. There's no trickery. It's very, very easy to understand and read. It's very well written, to be honest with you. But grab yourself a revision book and get reading. Basically, the foundation exam is designed to be simple, simply because the foundation license is basically your learner plates to get into radio. It's there for you to self-learn radio. It's not there to teach you radio, it's there for you to self-learn. All the foundation license is basically very simple safety and law that you've got to understand, basically, just to be able to, get your license. It talks about setting up your station, your antennas, your feeders, which is your coax wire, your radios, basic safety, how to climb a ladder safely, how to put up an antenna safely. It's just very simple stuff, It's literally there to guide you so that you can self-learn in radio. Like I said, I didn't sleep very well for a few days, 10 days or whatever. But I was extremely nervous for exams. Personally, I hate doing exams because I'm one of them people that I absolutely hate to fail. You get to some people that are like, oh, well, if I fail, I'll just book it again, it'll be fine. With me, it runs through my head constantly, and I can't get it out of my head. I couldn't sleep. I'm just so petrified of failure. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But yeah, get the revision book. You can get it from, like I said, Essex Hams, RSGB, eBay. I can leave a link in the description where you can grab one. And get your revision book. Get reading. Get learning. Like I said, it's very simple and easy to understand. The book. It's well written. It's basically there for kids to be able to understand. And I don't even mean that in an insulting way. Kids have passed the foundation license. there's no age limit for it. You know, it's not like you have to be 18 plus to do it. There is no age limit. You can be 6 years old and pass your foundation license for the radio if you wish. And 6-year-olds have passed it. 6-7-year-olds have passed it. So yeah, get yourself a revision book, get reading. The exam itself is based on recall, as they say, which basically means that you have to recall, like remember what is written in the book. It'll ask you a question, and it's everything from that exam. Every question in that exam is in that book. If you've fully read the book and you've memorized the book really well, you will have absolutely no problem on the exam. If you fail a question on the exam, it's all it tells you is you haven't read it properly enough and memorized it. You have to recall. On my exam, I've got some very, very simple questions. I had to point out a BNC connector. It says point to which one's a BNC connector. I had one, what did I have? A diagram of a Yagi antenna. I had to, you know, a diagram of it, a picture of it, and I had to say it's a Yagi. You know, it literally was extremely simple stuff. And like I say, it's there. It's meant to be simple. That's what it's for. Like I said, it's classed on recall. It's all about if you remember what's in that book, you'll have no problems with the exam, basically. But yeah, once you've done a bit of revision, then you can go on to book your exam, which I'll leave a link in the description as well for where you go to book the exam on the RSGB website, Radio Society of Great Britain. Once you've booked that, you'll receive a couple of emails pretty much immediately, you know, just confirming your confirmation that you've booked it, your payment, and blah blah blah. And it'll go, your emails will go silent basically, because another issue is I find a lot of people think you have to jump through like a million hoops to get your radio license. You really don't. Everything is done by email. Everything is done straight to your inbox. You don't have to guess what to do next, or everything is sent straight to your inbox, your email that you give, and you go from there. Basically, it's actually very straightforward to do. But yeah, get your exam date booked. I think there's a minimum of 10 days you can book. You know, you can't book now today for an exam for 3 days time, if you know what I mean. It has to be a minimum of 10 days. But get on there, get booking it, your day and your time. You get to choose what's available. I booked my exam, revised and passed all within 10 days. So that's how easy it is, you know. I'm no expert in radio. I really am not an expert in radio at all. I class myself as a radio unexpert. So I'm learning myself. I haven't been into radio all that long, really. Less than 6 months, to be honest with you. So I've just been tinkering around, you know, a bit of CB here. I've got some PMR radios. I've got some shortwave listening. You know, I'm not heavily invested into the hobby, and I haven't been in it all that long, but I still managed to pass. I actually absolutely flew through the exam. I started the exam and I was done within 13 minutes. So, you know, but yeah, get on the link I believe in the description, book your exam, and like I said, you'll receive a couple of emails, just confirmations, blah blah blah. You don't have to do anything with that. Just spend the next few days revising, because I live under the impression of don't revise until you get it right. Revise until you cannot get it wrong. That's how I live. I must have read through that book. I'd hate to imagine, honestly. I'd really hate to guess the number. A lot. Even the day of my exam was 11 AM in the morning. I took my children to school at half past 8, got home at 9, and I spent them 2 hours looking through the revision book again, just to, you know, freshen my mind, basically. But yeah, like I said, once you book your exam, you'll receive a couple of emails, just confirmation that you've booked, and then everything will go silent for a few days. But don't worry, that caught me off guard a little bit as well, because myself, I thought I had like a million hoops I had to jump through to get this radio license. But no, it just went silent for a few days, and that's where RSGB are sending you basically information across, you know, for your exam and whatever and things like that, you know. But eventually, after a few days, you'll receive another email, which is a Zoom call. You have to do a Zoom video call with an exam invigilator. This is just a very friendly chit chat, you know. Basically, all they want to do is put a face to your name. You know, they've got your name and your address and your phone number and your email address from when you've registered, you know, booked up to do your exam. They just want a face to the name, basically. And my Zoom call actually lasted about 2 hours. I didn't want it to last 2 hours, but it usually doesn't. Mine lasted 2 hours because it was such a friendly, chilled chat. We got chatting about CB, my current radio setup, my antenna, how I've mounted it, how high I've mounted it, what luck I've had on CB, you know, do I have many contacts, blah, blah, blah. And the exam invigilator was very chatty. He told me all about him and how he's got different licenses in different countries and how he helps run repeaters and things like that. So it was just a general chit chat, you know. You don't have to prove anything on this exam. You don't have to feel nervous on it either. I didn't feel nervous on it, honestly. It was just a friendly chit chat. He just wants to know, that's your face, that's your name. Okay, lovely. Are you set for your exam? Yeah, sure. And then in the video call, he'll just walk you through what's going to happen on your day of your exam. What to do, what not to do, because there's a few things that you shouldn't do, and obviously a few things that you should do. But after that video call, literally the second I hung that video call up, I had another email saying you've been invited to your exam, and it'll give me, you know, my date and my time and what to do and whatever. And in that time, obviously, I spent a bit more time doing revising. And you're going to need a couple of things for your exam. First of all, you need a program on your computer. If you're doing the exam on your computer, that is, you'll need a program called Test Reach, and that's like the official software that you'll do the exam. And once that exam is open on your, Test Reach is open on your computer screen. I'm pointing there, sorry, because my computer screen's right there. Once that software is open on your computer screen, you can't do anything else. You can't choose a different tab, you can't go on an internet browser, and things like that, because obviously it's there to stop you any chance of cheating, so that's fair enough. But yeah, you need to download Test Reach, which is the RSGB's version of Test Reach, which I'll also link in the description below for you, so you don't have to search for it. Everything's in the description below. Just download and install it. You'll get given a code, you'll get emailed it, as everything is email, and it'll say a code, and you just log into Test Reach, username, email address, password, whatever password you want, basically. That's for when you want to log in on your exam day. And there's also like a mock test you can do on Test Reach. If you really want, it'll show you how to do it and how it's laid out and what to do and what not to do and blah blah blah, just to give you a feel of how the exam is going to feel on that program. You can go through it if you want to. I'd recommend doing it. It'll give you a good feeler for what sort of questions you're going to get on your exam. I did the tutorial exam, and some of the questions I looked at, I was like, wow, this is going to be difficult to pass. This is going to be difficult, especially for me. Like I said, I haven't been in the hobby very long, and I don't know much about radio. I'm not an expert. I really am not. So I looked at some of these questions. I was like, oh my days, there's no way I'm going to pass this exam. But strangely, everybody's even told me it as well. So it's not just me. My exam invigilator told me. A few people that I've spoken to that have done their radio licenses have told me the questions on the Test Reach tutorial exam, they're nowhere near what you're actually going to get in your actual exam. In your actual exam, they're so much more simpler. And doing it now that I've done it, yeah, they really are different. Like I said, I've got some very, very simple questions Like I said, I started the exam and finished within 13 minutes, and you get 1 hour to do the exam. But yeah, like I said, you'll need test reach program, which is linked below. You'll also need, it's called EX307 document, which is this. You need this for the exam, because you may get questions on band plan, which is, that's your band plan there. This tells you all the bands and frequencies that you're legally allowed to operate on with your foundation license. So you keep that anyway, like I have, so I know 100%. You have this here, which is a table, which is your frequency and band. So you can, go follow it up and across, and it tells you, if you're on 27 megahertz, go up 27 across, and it'll show you 11 meters, which it is. 27 megahertz CB is the 11 meter band. Yeah, you might get a question with this in the exam. I did, which is very simple. They asked me, which was it now? Oh, they asked me the wavelength of 40 megahertz. So I just followed 40 megahertz up and went across, and there you go, job done. I also got a question in my exam about decibels, which an antenna gain question. Which your conversion chart's right here as well. So it said if your antenna has a gain of 6 decibels, what's the multiplier? Well, it tells you there, 4. So they're literally straightforward questions, and this has the answer, So yeah, you'll need this is an EX307 for the foundation license. You'll need the EX308 for the intermediate, and a 309 for the full. So you download these, and again, I'll leave a link in the description where you download them. They come from RSGB. Now, once you've printed these, do not draw or doodle on them before your exam, believe me. Because during your exam, you'll need to show them these, both sides, to make sure you haven't written any answers on it to cheat in your exam. Once you've started your exam, as soon as you click start, you can draw on these as much as you want. You can do what you want, but before the exam, you need to show them every page. You need to hold it up and show them back to front, just to show you haven't cheated. And so yeah, get them printed out. I said you'll have at this stage you'll have the test reach installed. You have the EX307 documents. That's all you really need for your exam. Like I said, I got my email saying invitation to your exam straight after I did the Zoom video call. And all I did was on the day of my exam at 11 AM, well, I actually logged into this Zoom call because you have to do another Zoom call during your exam just to prove you're not cheating, basically. Again, you'll start the Zoom call before your exam, and you'll get chatting, and he'll tell you when to start, and he'll give you a code to be able to type into test reach, and it will say, that'll give you your exam, basically. Basically unlock your exam, your official exam. So, sort of thing. You'll be chatting in a video call for a little while. I logged in 10-15 minutes beforehand just to chill, get set up and what have you, and he'll walk you through it. Or he or she will walk you through it. I say he, sorry, because I had a male invigilator. He just walks you through it, and then when your time hits, I joined at 11:45, 10:45 in the morning, and my exam was at 11. So I chatted for 10-15 minutes, and then he gave me the code to start my exam. And then obviously once your exam starts, you can no longer see the video call. You can't hear the video call. He can see you all the time, and he can hear you, and he can see what you're doing on your screen at all times, like what question you're on or whatever like that, just to make sure you're not cheating. And yeah, you have 1 hour to do your exam. Like I said, once you started, you can doodle on this whatever you want. When I first started my exam, as soon as I clicked start, and I was officially doing my exam, I had a blank piece of paper, and I did like a memory dump, as I call it. Everything that I had memorized in my head, fresh on top of my head, I wrote down quick, and so that way when I come across to an exam, I didn't get mind confused, under the pressure and whatever. I didn't blank it out, sort of thing. So I've written down everything I could possibly remember. I don't even know if I've got a piece of paper anymore, honestly. No, not that it'd be any good to you anyway, because you obviously you're bound to get different questions than I did. But yeah, I did a memory dump. And that way I had a fresh mind. I didn't have to try and recall it in my mind when a certain question came up. I'd already written it down, sort of thing, you know. Like I said, there's a few do's or don'ts to doing your exam. I mean, like I said, don't draw on this before your exam, as you'll be asked to either reprint it or you'll be excluded from doing the exam. If they seen that you've written anything on it, you'll be excluded from your exam. And in that Zoom call just before your exam, you'll have to provide ID. Hold it up to the webcam. Basically, you're always on webcam during the exam, so they can see you. Like I said, to make sure you're not cheating. Just hold your driving license or passport up to the webcam until they're happy that they can read it. Like, yep, thank you. And then you'll have to give them a 360-degree tour around your room or your shack, just basically to show that you haven't written answers on the wall or no one under your desk, you know, to kick you to give you the answers. Just a quick 360-degree around the room, and then put your camera back and your job done. And then, like I said, they'll give you that code then to be able to do your exam. Like I said, you get 1 hour to do it. During that time, you can eat, drink, smoke. If you smoke cigarettes, you can smoke. You can vape if you have a vape, like I do. They don't care what, you know. If that's what you do in your own home, you do it. You know, it's your home that you're sitting in. You know, it's your home. You do whatever you want. So I was vaping while I was doing it, and I had headphones on for my Zoom call before my exam, and they said to me, soon, you know, just take your headset off and put them down beside you or something like that before you click start, because obviously you're not allowed to wear headphones during the exam in case you're listening to the answers and whatever. Which is fair enough. I put my phone the opposite end of the room, I put it on silent. During the exam, like I said, you can't see them, the exam invigilator, or anybody else that's doing the exam, because there may be others with you in that Zoom call doing the exam too. You won't be able to see them or hear them, but if you have any issues on the exam, just wave your hand or something like that, or, you know, like I said, the exam invigilator can see you all the time. And if you have a problem and you need assistance, what you can do is he can mute your Zoom call microphone, and he can ring you on your mobile phone, basically. Like I said, they've got your number from when you booked your exam. He'll personally contact you on your phone, and once you're satisfied, you know, you've been helped, whatever, just put your phone back down where you did. I put mine over this side of the room because my computer's there, and you can get back to it. If you need to toilet during the exam, that's fine. You can absolutely go through the toilet. The only issue is, once you come back from the toilet, you are not allowed to answer the question that you paused on. You have to skip that. It has to count as a, you know, a failed question, basically. In case, you know, simple reasons, you know, obvious reasons, I should say. In case you've, you know, gone to quickly Google the answer. You know, you're a bit stuck on it, so I need a toilet, you know, and Googled it. No. So when you get back, you're not allowed to answer that question. But it's fine, you know. The exam is 26 questions. You've got 1 hour to do it. And in an exam, you only need 19 to pass. You can get 7 incorrect. But honestly, you'll fly through it. You'll absolutely fly through it. Like I said, I passed on the 10th of February, 2026, which from doing this video is 4 days ago. It tells you there and then. As soon as you finish, click finish on your exam, it'll tell you there and then on the screen whether you've passed or failed. I don't know, obviously, I don't know what it will say if you failed. Don't know, I haven't seen it. But mine says congratulations, you was successful in this exam. And as soon as you've got that message, you can then click to exit test reach. Your exam results have automatically been sent to RSGB, Radio Society of Great Britain, and you can exit test reach. And then at that point, you just like put your thumb up, because obviously you can't talk because there's other people may still be sitting the exam. So you just put your thumb up. Thank you very much. and then just leave the video call. Job done. You're done. If you've passed, well done. The next thing you have to do is be patient for the next few days, which is the hardest part, honestly. Like I said, I passed 4 days ago and I received my certificate yesterday, so I only had to wait 3 days. Usually they say you can wait up to 6 working days to get your certificate, which is, honestly, it's long, but there's my certificate. You'll get a package and you'll get some RSGB stuff. Congratulations on passing your foundation level amateur radio exam. On behalf of RSGB, the UK National Society, we'd like to welcome you to the fascination world of amateur radio, blah, 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 blah. And you'll get a Radio Today magazine. So, yeah. Once you've got your certificate, I mean, you can pass your exam, but you can't do anything yet. You need your certificate, you need your candidate number, which is on here. It'll tell you your candidate number. Once you've got your candidate number, you can then log on to Ofcom portal, which again, link in the description. You'll sign up, make an account, use the same email address, your home address, phone number, whatever it is you did for the exam. And once you've made your account, you just fill out all your details, blah, 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 your name, address, date of birth, phone number, blah, blah, blah. And then it'll say to apply for license. You click to apply for amateur radio license, and then it'll ask you for your candidate number, which is on your certificate. Type in your candidate number. It'll check it and be like, confirmed, thank you very much. Please choose a call sign. Now, if you've done your foundation exam, like me, the first 2 digits of your call sign is M7, Mike 7. You can't change that. That's your prefix to your exam license type. So M7, but you get to choose the last 3 digits of your call sign. Mine's M7 SXT, Mike 7 Sierra X-Ray Tango. I did all that yesterday, and then as soon as you've done that, it'll come up with your license. Basically, it'll say your license, view your license. You can download it and just print it out, and there's a copy of your license right there, and you're done. It's literally very straightforward. I see you just get a couple of emails that confirm you've booked your exam, an email for your friendly chat Zoom call, and then you get an email for your exam date and your Zoom call settings. On your exam date, you just log into the Zoom call, do your exam. Like I said, if you pass, you just got to wait then for your certificate to come through the post, and then just log on to Ofcom portal and apply for your license with your candidate number. It's literally that straightforward, and the questions are so simple. They really were very simple. Like I said, I'd done in 13 minutes. I was in my shack here, my shed shack, and my partner was inside the house. And then literally I started at 11. She knew I started at 11. By 13 minutes past 11, I'd done and I'd gone back into the house. My partner actually originally thought I'd failed. She thought I'd been kicked out or banned from doing the exam for some reason or whatever. Because she knew the exam was meant to be 1 hour long. I walked to the house and she's like, it's not even quarter past. What? I was like, oh no, I passed. I was like, yeah. She just looked at me like, what? Really? I was like, yeah, I've passed. It's literally that straightforward. It took me 13 minutes. I just click. Oh, okay, I already know all these answers, job done. Because I took the time to revise, Like I said, if you look in that book, in the foundation revision book, and you memorize it, you're going to have absolutely no problem with the questions in the exam. Everything's in there. Yeah, I'm all done. Now, next up is my intermediate license, which I've now ordered the revision book for, and I'll be doing the same process again. Revise, book my exam, and follow the email instructions to do my exam. You can't get any easier than that, to be honest with you. And yeah, please don't worry about it so much like I did. If you're nervous, I get it. I was too. I really was too. But yeah, when I popped back into the house with my partner, I just looked at her and I was like, I don't know what I was so worried about. I don't know why I was so nervous. I smashed it. I was like, she's like, oh, awesome, you know. Yeah, just don't feel nervous about it and don't feel so worried about it. Honestly, it's not as difficult as what it seems. If you look on the ISGB website, it seems so difficult. And it feels like you have to jump through a million hoops to pass your exam. You really don't. I must admit, the ISGB website and whatever is very misleading. It's not laid out very well or written very well for people to understand, you know, how to do it and whatever. It's extremely easy. And I mean, at the end of the day, even if you don't pass, the exam cost is £35.50p. You know, £35.50. It don't cost a fortune to do, you know. So if you do fail, just do a bit more revising and do it again. You know, you'll get there. Your license lasts forever, by the way, as well. So I've got this forever. And now, if I then book for my intermediate, and I fail my intermediate, it doesn't matter. I'm still foundation, you know, you don't lose the foundation part of it, you know, the first step. I'm still a licensed radio operator, so to speak. So no, you know, you'll get there. With the intermediate and the full licenses, the exams are a lot different. For intermediate and full license, they're more difficult because they're really trying to test you now. Trying to test you to, you know, see if you know what if you have the knowledge, you know, sort of thing, to be able to have more power and whatever. Because on foundation license, you're only allowed up to 25 watts of output power. That is from your radio, by the way. I find that a little bit confusing because they talk about power output from your radio, which is watts, and then they talk about ERP, which is effective radiated power from your antenna. I did get a little bit confused by that. See, if your radio's 25 watts output and your antenna is 6 gain, which is double, you know, how many watts effective radiated power are you putting out, you know? So I got a bit confused, like, well, is that illegal then? Because, you know, if my radio is 25 watts and my antenna is 6 dB gain, that's double, that's times 2. So my, you know, it's 50 watts leaving my antenna. Is that legal? And yes, it is, yeah. The 25 watt law with your license is your radio power. Oh, excuse me, early morning. But yeah, honestly, don't feel nervous like I did. It is so simple to do, and it opens up the world to you. You know, you can go on different bands now. So yeah, like I said, I'll leave all the links in the description. I'm sorry for rambling on, but I wanted to give you, you know, every bit of knowledge I had in my mind. Because like I said, I've recently done it, you know. It's not like I'm trying to recall something I did 10 years ago, you know. I did it a few days ago, so it's fresh in my mind and I can give you full perspective, you know. So that's why I'm rambling on a little bit here, just to make sure I've told you everything that I can possibly remember to tell you. So yeah, if you want to be a radio operator, get your foundation booked, get revising, and hopefully I'll hear you on the air. So 7 threes, guys.